Spain are heading to the World Cup final after beating France 2-0. On paper, it looked like a clash between two footballing powerhouses. On the pitch, though, it felt like one coach had read the other team's playbook from cover to cover. Hello and welcome to Sideline Story. I'm Tianyu. For me, this game was kind of won by Luis de la Fuente. We all know Spain's right flank is the weaker side defensively, so Didier Deschamps started Bradley Barcola instead of Doué, hoping Barcola's pace could keep Pedro Porro under constant pressure. It actually made sense on the first thought, but the problem is De La Fuente saw it coming before the game even kicked off. Every time France tried to isolate Porro, Rodri would slide over to help, Fabian Ruiz tracked back, Dani Olmo and Baena constantly covered the spaces. So Spain basically built a safety net around that flank, and suddenly France's biggest weapon, speed, was gone. And then Spain took over the game with what they do better than anyone else, which is possession. The passing was so quick and so clean that France could barely get a touch. Olmo and Fabian Ruiz kept swapping positions, dragging French midfielders everywhere. French players weren't just chasing the ball, they were chasing shadows. On the other side, Ousmane Dembele and Michael Olise never looked comfortable. Their first touches, passing accuracy, decision-making, everything felt just a little off. Credit has to go to Rodri and Cucurella, who constantly cut off passing lanes and stopped them from receiving the ball in dangerous areas. France's midfield and attack became completely disconnected. I think Olise is still an incredible talent, but just like many young stars, his performances can swing dramatically. Some days, everything comes off, and on other days, nothing really clicks. And unfortunately for France, this was one of those days. And then came the turning point. Lucas Digne brought down Lamine Yamal in the box, Mikel Oyarzabal converted the penalty, and the entire game just changed. Because before that, the match was pretty balanced. After the penalty, France had no choice but to push higher. And that's exactly what Spain wanted, which is more space, more control, and more chances to punish them. And another moment that surprised me was Rabiot's substitution. I actually thought Rabiot had done a solid job limiting the connection between Yamal and Olmo, while also giving France some much-needed ball carrying in midfield. I mean, yes, he picked up an early yellow card, but replacing him instead of Tchouaméni felt overly cautious for me. When you are already trailing 1-0, you need to become more aggressive, not more conservative. And then Saliba's injury forced another substitution, and suddenly Deschamps was running out of options. What frustrated me most was how late France reacted. Digne had been struggling against Yamal for ages. Barcola and Olise weren't influencing the game, and Doué should have come on much earlier. And when you are 2-0 down against the best possession team in the world, maybe it's time to forget trying to outplay them technically, but instead go direct, cross the ball, put bodies into the box, bring on someone like Matete or Thuram and make Spain defend physically. But France did none of that. They kept insisting on playing Spain's game. And that's a battle almost nobody wins. And that's why I think De La Fuente deserves enormous credit. This isn't even the strongest Spain we've ever seen. Yamal and Nico Williams haven't been at their absolute best this tournament, and this squad doesn't have Xavi, Iniesta, Puyol, or Sergio Ramos. Yet somehow, they have become France's kryptonite. This is the third straight major tournament where Spain have knocked France out in the semifinals. That's no coincidence anymore. I even saw a funny comment on Chinese social media after the match, which says, "We never expected France to be an easier opponent than Cape Verde." Maybe that's an exaggeration, but after watching the game, it certainly didn't feel that way. Spain completely controlled the match from start to finish, and now they're just one win away from another World Cup title. The so-called transitional coach nobody believed in 4 years ago is now one step away from becoming Spain's next legendary manager. That's quite a story. And that's it for this episode of Sideline Story. Tune in next time for more analysis, stories, and talking points from the FIFA World Cup. I'm Tian Yu. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you next time.